Sierra Leone. You're listening to Slurmcast, a podcast for no reason. Today we'll be discussing the third Futurama movie, Bender's Game. My name is Michelle Burlingame. With me are Tommy Roulette.
How's it going?
Pete Woodward.
That's me.
And our guests today are Meatbag Cody Cooper and mini Meatbags Alex and Herbie Wiles.
Welcome to the show. You are testing our capacities in a number of ways today.
Yeah.
This is more guests than we've ever had at once.
Yeah, I can tell.
Really?
Look at this mic.
To be fair, that's the coolest mic in the house.
It is
It's
pretty
true.
cool.
It's true. You got the special one.
There's another one that's cooler, but it would have been a hassle to
I
get.
feel like I'm making out with Pac-Man.
You're also our youngest guests, probably in an inappropriate age range, but you know, we need content, so
Who cares?
welcome aboard.
You guys came recommended from Bill Squire. Who
Really?
is a
Bill recommended
regular guest.
High recommendation.
It's
Wow.
true. Wait, when you say a high recommendation,
wait. What? Actually?
Mind altered.
yeah. So, is this regarded as the worst of the movies?
No, I like it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
No, I
What
think
I think it's one of the better ones.
I think Beast with a Billion Backs is worse than this one.
Yeah.
That
the
one
one
kind of
before.
weirded me out a little bit.
Yeah, that one's weird.
Yeah.
This one I think is fun and like the story moves along really well.
Yeah.
I think so.
Wait, is the Beast with a Billion Backs the one where like there's that shapeshifter?
It's the tentacles.
It's the tentacles
No,
from the other
remember
universe.
Evo.
Oh,
Remember Evo?
yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
The Shklee.
Shklee.
Oh, see, he knows all this
Yes.
stuff. You should probably.
I watch
instead of me.
I used to watch Futurama more than like anyone.
It's true. Every day
disgusting.
he'd watch it.
What?
It's disgusting.
Oh, well, okay, so that's a question that we tend to ask our guests when we remember to. But what exactly is your relationship with the show Futurama?
For me, I once saw one episode of it when I was really little.
Bender's
and,
great.
And I never saw it
First
after
boner.
that until I was about maybe starting my double digits. Then, as I started watching it again, I fell in love with the series, and saw one of my most favorite characters of all television time in adult series.
And how old are you now?
I am 16, going to turn 17, I'd say this year. Yeah.
Okay. That's usually how the years work.
You'd say this?
Such a beautiful story.
Barely legal.
Then not.
Right.
Not even.
Kids, get your things.
He's able to drive.
Oh, God.
And did you just find it like watching it?
Oh,
Me,
no.
no. My grandpa Jim showed me an episode. It was where Hermes got his head chopped off. I think that was a movie too, but then I just started I didn't learn about it for a while, but then I just saw it on Netflix saying, "Hey, Herbie, Futurama, let's watch it."
And you're
It's
what,
true.
11, 12?
He's 11 now.
11? Okay.
People say I'm like 13.
Oh.
The way you speak and the stuff you watch.
What's wrong with being a child? Just enjoy your childhood.
But I'd rather be 21 than 10
No.
because
Oh, 21 sucks.
I know,
No, you
but
don't.
21 you can do like everything. You can get married, you can get a car, you can drive. But still, you're still young.
Those are what we refer to in the business as albatrosses.
Walk before you run, little man.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Says
that's not anything to go rushing into.
Okay.
So they did the second Jumbotron fake out like they did with the Steamboat one,
Yeah.
but with the weird yellow submarine deal.
I don't really know why it was a yellow submarine dealie, but it didn't really fit with any sort of theme.
Neither did Steamboat.
But,
It
yeah.
was like a
I-
yellow submarine type thing. The
I think-
Beatles.
Well, yeah, I
that's
knew what it
yeah,
was.
maybe like that. Yeah, I didn't know it until about. I just thought of this now. Maybe it was supposed to be referencing the Beatles for some reason, and maybe one of the creators of the show loved the Beatles so much they had to put something like that in.
Me,
That's probably true. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I knew it was a Beatles thing. I just didn't get how it was connected or why it was the Jumbotron, why it
What?
was their choice for this particular movie. But and then in the end, it like explodes with flowers. Weird. Like it just didn't
A bunch of weird hippie stuff.
really
Wait,
serve.
maybe it was supposed to be referencing how Bender is going to act in this episode. Because remember, he starts acting weird, going nuts, practically like he's on drugs or something.
He goes
It's like
to
his,
Looney.
his fantasy land.
Yeah, something
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Wait,
during-
hang on. Are you suggesting the Beatles were on drugs?
No, not like that. Not like that.
Oh no, they definitely were.
No,
They
I
were.
didn't
They totally
mean that.
were.
I didn't
They
mean
totally
like
were, Herbie.
that. No, it wasn't.
How about we
They were on so much acid.
how about we
Oh my god.
Lots of drugs.
how about we sneak a little bit of ASMR into this?
That's gonna make somebody really angry.
Oh my god.
Um,
Never mind my brother. Sorry.
just for the record, Beatles better before drugs, Rolling Stones better after.
Before you guys,
Agreed.
Before I remembered what the sorry.
But it starts right off with Kubert and Dwight and their nerd friends playing nerd games like Dungeons and Dragons. I was more surprised than anything that in the year 3004, no, this is like 3008 now, right?
I thought it
13
was-
years, and also
Yeah.
underage gambling. Shame on you. Count me in.
Well, just they. I'm surprised Dungeons and Dragons lasted.
I was
through-
thinking the
It's
same
Dungeons
thing.
and Dragons.
Yeah,
How
I
can
mean,
it not
Timeless.
last?
It's timeless.
Is
It's
it?
true.
Do you
Yeah.
play?
I used to.
I
Really?
Yeah.
What's?
Don't let this flat brim fool you, bro. I'll nerd down.
I mean, we have several friends. In fact, several former guests that play together.
Yeah, they do campaigns all the time.
But it seems like a real
I don't-
big.
I've never
time
played
commitment.
it, and I want to.
I
So
Same here.
it sounds fun.
I have my.
You gotta have an imagination, Pete.
I don't.
Yours is gone.
Al, don't talk about that right now, man.
Baldur's
We don't wanna
Baldur's
we don't
Gate's
wanna
pretty
get
fun.
off-
That's like
off
a
track.
computer version of it. But
Is the I don't know. Just it's a lot of Kubert to deal with right off the bat, and he's got like the peanut butter mouth.
Yeah, so gross.
In my imagination, I'm riding a golden Pegasus. Giddy up, Sparky.
But I mean, first of all,
Everybody hates Kubert.
yeah.
It's true. He is a little turd.
And I would just figure Dwight would be like he wouldn't be into it, but I don't know, whatever. It's just they start off with the conceit right away, like Bender doesn't have an imagination, but like every other time they're like, oh, Bender doesn't have emotions, or he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that. He clearly does.
yeah.
And that makes me very sad.
Why? Or you're just saying that Bender was sad because he didn't have an
Yeah,
imagination.
he quotes a lot of stuff from that show.
Okay.
Is that
It was
all you're
from
gonna
a
do?
different episode where like the professor made this machine. It's like a what if. Like you just ask, what if Bender were human?
Oh,
He dies because he gets way too obese.
yeah. You have to be careful when you bring those up around me because then it leads into whole arguments about what is and what isn't.
Yeah,
Oh, snap.
it's- Al, just
And it just
keep
because
staying on track,
it's
little buddy.
Show
I-
him why you're a man.
you know, like if he really, it all goes back to the thing longer, and then
We just don't want Pete to
This is
have an
why you're a boy.
aneurysm.
Yeah,
He's a
it,
man.
it triggers.
You're a
me.
boy. He's a man. He's going to tell you why.
Who are those other kids with Dwight and Kubert? I couldn't tell.
They didn't even give him names.
Nope.
I think we were supposed to guess who they were because I think one of the kids must have been like Amy's little brother or something like that.
I don't think
But
so.
I think
They
she's
never
an only
mentioned them.
child.
Good point. I mean,
You've come.
if we don't give them, they don't give them names. They don't show up for the rest of the series.
Just like non-denominational Asians,
You've come to the wrong place.
Oh my
and
God.
and they're just. Which I like that was kind of strange. Like you figure they could have thrown like Scruffy in the game or somebody else that you've seen before.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
the
don't think-
transcript just has them named Indian boy and Chinese boy.
Oh my God. Well, at least I know who the other kid is. He's probably Lila's old boss's son.
Mowgli.
Oh wait. Oh God.
Dude.
Wait. What was I gonna say? Oh God.
Al, think about it in your head, not out loud.
I
This is
don't-
called dead air, Al. You know what
Wait.
dead air is?
Just saying. I know what it is. Wait.
Sorry.
Number one should be. It should be exactly.
All right.
Wait, what are you talking about?
He,
I have no idea.
Do you have any-
He speaks nonsense.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Do either of you guys have any insight into what Fry's other stomach lump was? One was the softball he swallowed. And then he had another one that was approximately softball size, but was identified as not being a softball.
There she blows.
Maybe it might have been a softball-sized fruit or something like that, because we all know Fry isn't exactly the brightest bulb in the sun.
No, he's very dumb.
It's the.
Yeah, but that's what makes him lovable. You can't help but love the guy.
Maybe it's the clump of rocks from the Da Vinci Code.
Wait,
Wait, which Da Vinci Code?
It's
Alex,
an
Tom Hanks
episode.
one?
Alex, I
Or-
think that's
That comes later.
Does it?
yeah, Alex. That comes later, dude.
Spoilers.
Alex, Maybe
is what he does.
it's
This is what I always hated about them watching it. They would just skip around. They would watch like half of episode and then skip 3 seasons at us.
It's non-linear. You can't do that.
Yeah, I
There's-
that's
that's
him,
what I'm
not me.
saying.
Maybe it was an orange.
Yeah,
Maybe,
see what you're doing with your hair right there? That's what I do all day.
maybe it was an orange that he swallowed or something like that.
Solidarity,
Knowing him.
man.
Maybe
He
it was a
swallows a lot
kickball
of
mic.
things.
Maybe it was a kickball mic. You think it was a kickball mic?
It could have been about that
possible.
size.
Kick drum mic? I mean?
Yeah, there's a
It is called a kickball.
there's another one called a
I think
snowball.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a tennis one.
No,
Well,
tennis was a smaller.
How could they let the ship run out of fuel though? That seems super
Because
irresponsible.
the warning didn't go off until they were already out of
But
fuel.
there's a fuel gauge that they could watch. I mean, if Lee was piloting the ship as a good captain, she would have been paying attention. You would think.
Yeah, but I can't exactly remember what happened in the episode. But maybe she was. Didn't the rednecks distract her or something like that?
It's called
When they were filling up.
it's
Yeah.
called green mucus.
That's the color of the ship.
Oh, wait, electric mucus.
But
Electric
before
mucus.
the ship just warns that they're out of fuel, and that the engine will shut off in 0 seconds. Maybe just because they needed to get to a plot point.
Yeah.
The ship is powered by literal crap.
I guess. I mean, they have the nibbler poop
Yeah.
to get by.
The dark
I've
matter.
never been so happy to see poop.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe once.
Maybe once.
And I want to know what that once was. Was it him or was it someone else? Like,
No,
was
I
it-
assume him and eating. He ate something.
well, there's
Very-
a, that's like
very
a,
important.
that's
Yeah,
a
probably.
leitmotif throughout the whole episode because
Yeah.
the professor's like insy outsy.
Yeah.
But like, was it maybe Seymour ate something at some point and he was like, "Oh, is this gonna pass?" I don't know.
Yeah.
I wish they'd explored that storyline a little bit more than say the
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons thing.
Oh,
Philip,
but
you
talking
lost
about the ship, a deleted scene from I think it was Into the Wild Green Yonder. It was a painting scene with Scruffy and Zoidberg. Scruffy had a huge paint can; they were painted green, but Zoidberg, he was shaking himself, and Scruffy thought it was paint that he was spitting out, but he was just throwing up.
Well, that's what Zoidberg does.
Yeah,
though.
Zoidberg's
He
gross.
squirts out his empathy bladder in this episode.
Bye, friends.
So I was surprised that Sal was a demolition. And, well, first of all, I don't picture Sal as being a redneck.
Sal.
Sal? Is
Yeah.
he that guy who's like
Oh
Use
yeah,
use guys is
Yeah, him.
such as he uses stupids.
yeah,
Yes.
His
him.
name's
Yeah, I remember
Sal,
him.
and he
Yes.
talks like that. What makes you think he's not a redneck?
I think he's more like a New York, like working class.
Maybe that's
guy.
Sal. Remember, he's a clone. There's
Well, they
just
could
several.
be, but like what did they call him at some point? It was
Are you trying to say hardworking blue collar New Yorkers? sound like you?
New Yorkers. You mean?
well, just like when I think rednecks, I think like Cletus from Simpsons, and Sal's buddy was way more redneck than Sal was, but Sal didn't seem very rednecky.
Well, they were driving a garbage
he
truck.
seems like a trucker.
Yeah.
didn't he?
Well, and some truckers are rednecks, so I guess Layla was just trying to I don't know, I forget the word, but she was profiling them because he was hanging out with a redneck, so she probably thought he was redneck too.
Oh, did you guys see the
Alex.
is the episode after? What is it? Is
Alex,
the
not yet, not yet, not yet.
It's the egg sandwich.
Stay on topic, Alex.
Yeah, Alex. It's after. It's after. All right.
We don't. Why should he?
Yeah, Alex, leave it alone for now, okay? Don't get off topic.
Oh, yeah?
Wait, but the fact that they're 5-time demolition derby champions, that seemed unlikely as well.
Yeah, because
Oh, if they're in a demolition derby, he's definitely a redneck.
You think?
What?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think there's okay. So like
I
the,
wouldn't
the
have ever
Venn
done it.
diagram of people that participate in demolition derbies certainly overlaps with redneck a lot.
Yeah.
But I just wouldn't picture Sal again because I don't picture him as a redneck as such. And then Leela's rage at just like blowing up seemed very.
Now here's a question I have. Do you two know who Mickey Rourke is?
Mickey Rourke.
No, you know what? They might, but
I've heard of his
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh, he's an MCU?
Yeah.
I have
Mickey Rourke.
I've become known as part of the Dixie Chicks.
Which it's Iron Man 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2.
Whiplash.
Yeah, he
he
plays
was
Whiplash.
Whiplash?
in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know many actors really well.
He used to be really, really pretty in the 80s, and then his head got super fat from boxing.
Are you
he
serious?
it just got, and then he rebuilt it all with plastic surgery, so he
Oh.
looks like he does now.
God.
but he was. I mean, he was just like
So he looked like this,
yeah.
and then
Oh,
he looked
yeah.
like that.
I thought he looked familiar. He's Tool from the Expendables. He looks like Tool from the Expendables.
He was probably in the Expendables.
He looks like Tool.
I love Expendables.
I've never seen.
Yeah, he very likely
Expendables.
was in that.
Yeah.
He was in The Wrestler.
Never saw that.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, he was in The Expendables.
Who was it? What's his character?
Let me see here.
He was?
He was Tool.
Yes,
There
I
you
called
go.
it.
Okay,
he
so-
has the same hair.
To answer your question, Michelle, yes, they
These
do.
kids
know
do
Mickey
know who
Rourke.
Mickey Rourke is. Damn.
The whole fuel wasting thing seemed very contrived, I guess.
Contrived?
I mean, I guess it's just another plot point to tie back to what needs to happen. but-
Why the professor was like?
Yeah, because
wasting
the
fuel?
professor doesn't care about anything ever.
He
Like
just-
he's so
he's crazy. Sometimes he just goes.
Yeah, he's practically insane.
It was the only
Yeah.
one I could find at Home Depot.
But I mean, it's interesting that well, number one, despite having the co-ed group showers, which everybody's kosher with,
Right, because
But-
modesty is a thing of the past.
exactly. But now they're going to eliminate the
Literally.
free porn magazines in the lobby, which is going to bum Scruffy out for sure.
Sort of.
I mean, he's got his copy of Unique Knockers.
Are you kidding me? He's got every time he's laying down, he says a yup. He's always got some kind of magazine like that.
Usually 0G jugs, but he reads it for the articles.
Yeah.
Sure.
Um,
Darn it.
the plan for the professor to swallow the keys every night and then recover them in the morning is how many times does somebody swallow something and then have it pulled out of their body one way or another in this?
And why would people feel comfortable holding it?
Yeah. Well,
Well, you wash it off.
Wait, so I cut this hole in it
When
for
they were
nothing?
using the magnet to get the keys out of his stomach, they weren't. They were just
Well,
like tossing.
yeah, but Zoidberg's gross. I mean,
hey.
Hey, there's a lot more things in there than just the keys, all right? a
yeah.
lot
Well,
more
Yeah.
I mean, they should have taken and actually, they took out like 4 sets of keys. There were 2 boat keys.
Yep. The storage room key, the boat key, the other
the
boat
boat
key.
I mean, like I used to get really grossed out by things
Dory.
like poop and whatever, and then once I had a child, you just have to get over it
Yeah, you go. I think
quickly
don't you grow,
because
like, a resistance to it or something?
you're gonna wind up with like poop and everything else on your hands.
Yep.
At some point, just because kids are disgusting,
Oh,
Yeah.
and if you
You
don't,
are.
Hey,
if you don't clean them up, you can get in trouble for that.
Yep.
So just so you know, guys, that's what rushing to 21 is gonna get you. Just let it ride.
Alex.
Yeah.
Zoidberg, his whole, just the way he explained the removal. I'm going to use this magneto to get the keys out of the professor's frontal face hole was beautiful.
Up the thorax and out via the frontal face.
Paydoit!
Paydoy.
There was a line that we skipped
Zoidberg is my favorite character. I swear.
when they were trying to chill Leela out at the gas station. And like, calm down, Leela. You can vent tonight on your blog. Which, more people need to do that probably. Instead, they just spit it out on Twitter.
Yeah.
Just nobody would read the blogs. And then it was just going out and it was fine. But
Most
now-
people should just open a Word document, type all that in there,
And
and then
hit
look at
delete.
it later,
Yeah, but
or
then-
just hit delete
But
after
then they don't
it.
get attention.
That's true.
Yeah, true. I think that's what most people in this world now rely on. It is attention.
You know, some people need a little attention. Some people want more than they deserve.
Yeah.
That's my
more
opinion.
more than
Yeah.
some.
Yeah.
Did anybody know what the fancy indie rock song was? The rocket ship song?
I was
we got the
wondering.
big convoy. Ain't she a beautiful sight?
Wrong song.
That's
was
Convoy, but there was like a
rocket ship.
Yeah, that one. You know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Is
that
it in
one, yeah.
Infosphere? Because
Yeah,
I was
but I
I was
liked
gonna
it.
look, and the problem was like Hulu kept auto forwarding into the episodes, and then I just didn't have the gumption to go back and try and watch the credits. But it was like that was the one thing that I thought was noticeable about this episode and the other 80 or so that we've done. Like it was really one of the few times they used non-composed music, you know, like an actual song or something. And then they had the Dixie. Well, was that really the Dixie Chicks?
I wouldn't know.
No.
That was the first time I ever heard of them. Really.
It was not.
No,
Okay.
they don't speak.
Well, that's true.
Eh?
Rich Little is Rich Little, and so is later on Gary Gygax, but we'll get there.
Who was? I didn't see him.
Gary Gygax?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's at in the credits at the end.
Oh, okay. He was part of Al Gore's
Original
action
crew?
team Space Force or whatever with
It's
Stephen
me.
Hawking and Nichelle Nichols.
Oh,
It's me, Al Gore. I'm super serial.
I don't.
Alex.
I mean, I don't know if he's that guttural.
It's just best impression of the guy.
He's. I mean, he's a very dry character, and he's very deliberate in the way he talks. But then there's that slight Southern twang that he affects because I think he's from like Connecticut or something.
Who's this?
Al Gore.
Another blue collar New Yorker.
Yeah. Well, white blue collar. Maybe it's like half blue, like blue stripes. I mean, I have a very particular because I'm terrified of rednecks. I mean, it's like that whole deliverance thing. So when it's somebody that talks like he's from Brooklyn versus, he like Sal sounds like Laverne's dad on Laverne and Shirley versus somebody that sounds like Cletus from The Simpsons. So there. I mean, that's the line I'm drawing. Sal is Fonzie-esque almost,
Gotcha.
but
Yeah.
you'd think he'd be a little more cosmopolitan. They really got the nice. There was a more like original rock and roll music underneath the Demolition Derby. Was that something good? Did you find that song, Tom?
Oh, god damn it.
I didn't find
I
it.
didn't. I know I read it recently.
How'd they try to make a Demolition Derby look so formal? Like, why did so many people go to it?
Have you guys ever gone to a Demolition Derby?
No,
No.
actually, no.
Not really.
Because
no.
there are tons of people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've never been to Demolition Derby.
They do them at
Tons.
the county fair every year.
You guys grew up in rural Ohio. How did you never be to it?
Well, I mean, it
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
that rural.
Because we're
Oh,
sophisticated
it wasn't?
people.
You have to live in a cosmopolitan place like Berea to
Tell
see
the
that.
people where you lived. Yeah, right.
Which Berea is fine. It's just that's where the county fairgrounds are. So they fill the stands like 2 nights in a row.
Wow.
Go to the Ohio State Fair and you'll see a bunch of people looking at tractor pulls and
Hey.
Hey guys, I'm sorry
And-
for getting off topic, but I just looked at Cody's Google stuff, and it just said, I think he just looked up
Into the mic.
dog throws up sock.
Yeah, I just told you about that. I told you about that.
this podcast has a rich history of discussing dog vomit and,
Really?
and defecation.
We had Tim Cornette
So-
on once, and it got
I found it, Pete.
Okay,
Jesus.
It's a song by Kathy McCarthy.
Which one? The rocket ship one?
Yeah.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Kathy McCarthy. I swear I've heard that
McCarthy.
name before. McCarthy. Yeah, McCarthy. I swear I've heard that name before.
Ship.
Anyway,
Anywho, we're at the Demolition Derby and a Princess Pukerella and her Pukey Puke mobile show up.
Do you think George Takei really harbors ill will towards Scott Bakula?
Huh?
I thought that was just
who
mean.
were those two guys that
I
one
mean, that was
destroyed the
really
other?
George Takei, so...
Was it?
I mean, yeah.
Well, Scott Bakula just looks sad. I mean, he wouldn't want to talk.
I don't
'Cause-
think George Takei is in real life mad at Scott Bakula, but I think it's a funny joke.
Yeah.
It would
well,
be
I
funny
like the joke
if he was mad.
for ruining the franchise.
Glass Eye was the band she was in.
Huh. From Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. They performed on MTV.
There they go.
Cool.
George Takei was Sulu on the original Star Trek and all the other things. Scott Bakula was like whoever the Captain Kirk fake captain was on Enterprise. I don't know. It was the late period Star Trek show
Yes.
that had like a
Enterprise.
Bruce Springsteen theme song.
Yeah, it was
It
Enterprise.
was not good.
Never.
We're up in space. We're gonna save each other in space. It's something like that. And it's just
Oh my
it
God.
really took you out of the whole Star.
Yeah, it sounds
Trek
like something
thing.
like I would hear on Mad. I hated that show when I was a kid.
Yeah, I was never much into Star Trek. Period.
Mad
but
what?
Mad TV.
Yeah, Mad TV on Cartoon Network.
Get the hell out of his house.
It was on Cartoon Network?
Yes, it was on Cartoon Network. It was
It's
like
not.
It was like
Herbie, you're grounded.
It was
It's
like
not a
It
cartoon.
was like a kid version of Mad. It was like it would make fun of I saw one with Pokemon, Avatar with the blue people.
What?
Nah, that was outside of Mad TV's.
Yeah.
I'm confused as
Talking
hell.
about
Me
Robot
too.
Chicken?
No, not Robot Chicken. This was meant for kids, mind you. This was meant for kids. The blood was green.
It was just
You
called
know,
Mad.
it may have been like Mad Magazine cartoon show, like Spy versus Spy. I think they had.
It was on that.
Okay.
It was on that.
Yeah,
Spy versus
that
Spy. That
makes
was the
sense.
only part I ever enjoyed.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I don't think I have ever watched it, but I know that they did make a Spy versus Spy cartoon on Cartoon Network. But Mad TV was actually like a Fox. It was almost like Saturday Night Live, but way worse, or like raunchier.
Varying quality with a surprisingly talented cast over the years.
True, yeah, like Phil Lamar
Yeah.
from Futurama was on Mad TV.
Or Artie Lang, Arden Marine.
Will Sasso.
Will
Michael
Sasso.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nicole,
Here's how they did the
Mo, what was her name? Mo.
Mo, yeah.
Here's
Mo.
how they did the
I can't remember
Pokemon
her
thing.
last
Daphne?
They did it like
No.
Jurassic Park.
Herbie, you're off topic.
They did the Pokemon thing like Jurassic
always off
Park. Had
topic.
John Hammond and everything.
Herbie, we're talking about Mad TV.
Wait, John Hamm?
Grounded.
No, for the Pokemon thing on Mad, it was basically a Jurassic Park thing of Pokemon.
And they tried to kill everybody?
Something like that. Magikarp evolved into Gyarados and ate Jesse and James because they had all the Pokeballs.
I feel like you're talking Chinese. with me. Like, I
We
literally
don't know
have-
what
Yeah,
words.
I'd
Yeah.
rather not talk about that stupid show right now.
The
I
best
hate it.
chance of someone understanding it is Michelle, and clearly she's stumped too.
I thought we were
It's
talking
okay.
about Princess Pucarella.
Yep.
Well,
can't
we
remember.
we
I
were.
like that.
Okay, sorry.
I like
I was the
Alex
right age
dictating.
for Pokemon, but I was vehemently against Pokemon
Why?
as someone who read books.
Because she was into Pogs.
No, I didn't. I wasn't into Pogs either. I listened, or I read Goosebumps and
Goosebumps was
and
good.
spooky stuff.
I liked the Goosebumps one where they were at summer camp.
Ow. We're getting off topic.
Well, Great Godzilla's gonads.
Are you serious?
There's the One Piece with Zoidberg. Look at me! Look at me! Look at me! Look at me! Don't look at me! I love it. He is consistently my favorite. But this turn. So I just got done with the stupid Cornwood Uprising thing in the Worlds of Tomorrow game.
Have not opened the app since we recorded our bonus episode last time.
I had no idea
Months
what was
ago.
going on. It was like a 6-week,
Jesus.
thing, a campaign. So they had all these characters and things. Had no idea. And then of course I watched this and it's like, oh, so Bender is Titanius Anglesmith of Cornwood and blah blah blah. And this is where it just gets it
Strange.
just gets weird.
Well, I mean, Futurama starts out with one thing and then moves on to the next.
Well, this particular, I guess it's not really like an episode, but the movie has a really weird act structure where it's almost like two stories
In one.
smashed into one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
That's
you've
what it
got
seems
them
like.
discovering, as we're going along, the poop mine is actually a poop farm, and then at that point it kind of squashes into that weird Bender's imagination,
Which never gets explained
Yeah.
really. They just
I have questions about that. I
Lord-
have
it was like
very interesting.
yeah, it was like a mix of Lord of the Rings and Dungeons and Dragons.
What I want to know is why half of the characters are self-aware and know that they're in Bender's imagination, and the other half are just a part of Bender's imagination. Like, why is it that Fry and Leela are still Fry and Leela, knowing that they're like, for some reason, Leela's a centaur, but Leela
but not
knows.
a real one because she's all for
Yeah,
war.
she says, I'm half horse, half naked. So like she knows that she's been changed into a centaur, but the professor is like a wizard and
A
he acts
Gandalf
like
wannabe?
he acts like a like I just want to know. I know it's way ahead, but I just want to know why half of them know that they've been transported into another. Well,
Only two of them.
And this is after she got the 50,000 kilovolt or the 50,000 volt shock collar, which she really gets into as the episode goes on. Like towards the end of it,
Yep.
she's just full on
Yep.
like into electro play.
Yeah.
But maybe so there is the detour into the scary door. And
Scary.
I'm wondering if at that point it's just like forget it. It's all a scary door episode from that point on.
What was the scary door? I forgot.
It was
It's like the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it was
No, I
basically-
know,
it was
but
like
what
the
was
UFOs were
episode?
attacking and then they got destroyed by dinosaurs.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh my god.
The Tyrannosaurus Rex was eating the flying saucers and then they were done.
And
Boom.
wasn't the whole thing basically in Fry's imagination? Well, if it was, all of the characters who they were how you imagined them. Well, that means that Fry, Bender imagined Fry as Golem.
Gollum, you mean?
Gollum, yeah. He imagined him as a tiny little creature obsessed with the ring.
It was a weird mishmash of Lord of the Rings and Dungeons and Dragons and
he pictured
Redneckery.
A little bit of Star Wars too near the end.
He pictured
Oh, we're getting too far ahead.
I know, but he pictured Amy as exactly how you would think.
I love
With
how,
scales and gills.
Oh
No.
no.
The
Do you see
sex
how
positive.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the term we use on this show.
Oh my god.
I'm glad.
So
my favorite is how Herbie just keeps doing something, and then as soon as Alex does the same thing, he's like, "All right, cut it out." Cut it
Sorry,
out.
can't help
isn't
it.
that what brothers are supposed to do?
He's like says something about the end of the episode, and then Alex says, "You're getting ahead. You're getting ahead. Alex, just shut up. You're getting
That's
ahead."
okay.
We're trying to
Look,
helping it along.
we've got nothing but time, except that you guys have a hard out at 9 o'clock.
Ha! You have to go to bed.
Losers.
We'll keep recording and talking about you guys. The thing that seemed real strange